Okay, perfect. So welcome, LIBCAM. And thank you for joining me today for the second workshop for your strategic planning sessions. Once again, my name is Chantel, and I'm going to be facilitating this for you today. Like I said, it should take us until for another hour and 45 minutes to get through it. And at least there's, um, the four of us here, well, about to be four of us here, so therefore we can have some meaningful discussions. Just sometimes it's technology. Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to look at some leadership tactics. And by leadership tactics, we're talking about board of director training, governance, that kind of stuff. We're also going to look at the resource strategy linkage. So we're going to look at what resources you have available to you and what resources you need. Remember last time we went through the business model canvas, we did a bit of the pastel analysis, looking at the internal workings of the business, looking at the external environment that the business is operating in. And now we're going to look at what resources you have, because we had an extensive list before of things that the organization wants to do. Now we're going to look at what you actually have and then what the gaps are so that we can figure out a strategy to fill those gaps. And then we're going to look at some leadership training, really looking at the personality types of each member and how to work cohesively together. I'm not sure, but I sent Raheem a link for you to fill out and do your personality profiles. Have you guys done that? I think you're on mute. You're both on mute.
Yes, I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, okay, awesome.
The vice president too told me she did her. So
okay, so we can discuss, your personality types and if you think it was true to you, and then you could learn about each other's personality types so you really know how to work together. That's something that we do in a lot of organizations here, and it's kind of fun to learn a bit more about yourself. So as we know, the output of this project that we're working on will be workshops and a strategic plan that will include the following. So last time our training focused on strategic planning, on funding sustainability. That's really the business model. We worked on training on developing strategies to strengthen organization power, to build strong mutual influence relationships within the organization with clientele and with stakeholders. So that was our focus the last time. This time we're focused on board of director training, focusing on your responsibility and contribution to organizational operational efficiency in areas of accountability and ethical policy decision-making processes. I think somebody else is trying to join. Letting them in. And then also we're going to focus on executive staff leadership training, focusing on program management, sustainability, and strategic plan. And then next time we're going to hit the other two at a time, I think, to get us to the end. So we're going to start now with leadership tactics. And were you able to access the other materials that from the last training as well? Were they shared with you?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good. So you could have that in the folder for those who aren't here with us today. Oh, I thought I admitted her. They came back. Okay. So board of director training, focusing on your responsibility and contribution to organizational operational efficiency in areas of accountability and ethical policy decision-making process. I don't know why, but I'm hearing an echo somewhere. If everyone can mute their mic for a bit. So then when it's time to have discussions, then yeah, perfect. Thank you. So we're going to talk about governance. And what is governance? So governance is the oversight system that removes the people and the process if they aren't working well. So you're going to look at your organization and each board of director member, each executive leadership person as a whole system, as a machine in essence, and look at what parts of it are working and aren't working well so that you can have a smooth, efficient organization when you're running it. It is a process that checks and balances power to assure that the principles and interests of the community as a whole are always placed above the interests and power of any individual or faction. So we want to make sure that the organization is always serving what the community needs and not really the facilitation of the board or the executive leadership team in a power struggle dynamic. So there are 5 recommendations to assist with better decision-making for the board. The first one is board members must be experts. They must be experts in their field. They must be experts in, what position they're holding in the organization so that they can better help to guide in the direction of the organization. Board meeting procedures should focus on debating new decisions, strategies, and policies, and not just reviewing past performance. So when the board gets together to meet, I'm not sure how regularly you meet, maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, those board meetings should, yes, maybe review what's happening, but really just focus on what the direction the organization wants to go in and how we're going to get the organization there. Thirdly, directors need better access to information because information is power. So you can only make decisions based on what you have. So it's best if you do research, survey your community, get information from what they need in order to better serve them and give them the value that the organization is trying to provide. Fourthly, directors should be required to devote a substantial portion of their professional time to the corporation or the organization. So I know everybody else has jobs and other things that they have to do, but in running this organization, it's important that you devote the time, like you're devoting the time to be here today for workshop training, to ensure that the organization is always running effectively and efficiently. And fifth of all, the board members must have the right incentives. The right incentives so that they're always focused on what it is that the community needs, what it is that the organization needs, and not necessarily on their own individual needs. So to be successful, all organizations must have checks and balances, as we said. A, even in an idea of meritocracy, merit cannot be the only determining factor in assigning responsibility and authority. B, we must make sure that no one is more powerful than the system or so important that they are irreplaceable. C, we must beware of fiefdoms. And what we mean is an organization that is controlled by one person or a group. We have to make sure everybody has an equal voice and everybody has an equal say in how the organization is going to be run. D, we must make clear that the organization's structure and rules are designed to ensure that its checks and balances system functions well. So this is going to be our first exercise. We're going to discuss the structure and the rules for the organization. So hold on, let me get here. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the structure. How is the organization structured? You have your chair, which I'm assuming is you, Bernard. You have your vice chair. How many positions do you have in the organization?
We have so many, we have the executive level and we have officials.
Okay, so
on the-
list them for me.
So the executive are those who are elected. They're the senior executive, like the president, the vice president, the secretary, the treasurer, and the financial secretary. 5.
President, vice president,
Secretary, financial secretary, and treasurer.
What's the difference between the financial secretary and the treasurer?
Or the treasurer do the day-to-day transaction.
Okay.
If the financial secretary record transaction, and both of them liaise together, and then they can do the monetary aspect of the organization.
Okay, so it's like better than having one person.
Yeah, the financial secretary do all the recording and then transfer all the money to the treasurer. The treasurer does the banking, the issuing of a check, and other things.
Okay. So you say they're elected. Who elects them?
Oh, they are elected by the membership. Yeah, the five executives I just named. Those
Mhm.
are elected position.
Okay.
That's the senior executive. Right now we serve in the capacity as the board of directors.
Okay. So,
Then we have the junior executive, that 4 other person. Those are chairman of standing committees. So we are included there on the executive.
so chairman of standard committees.
Yeah, the chairman of standing committee.
So you have the executive leadership team that's elected by the membership. And then you have
Yeah.
the chairman of standard committees, which is
Yeah.
under that.
Yes.
Okay, how many people are on that one? That's just one person?
No, we have 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
3 people.
That's the chairman for program and fundraising. We got conflict resolution, and we'll have sport and social.
Conflict resolution.
And a recent I added the parliamentarian also there. So they have 4 members now.
Sport and social. And what's the other one?
The first is the
No, the last
program-
one that you added.
or the parliamentarian. The parliamentarian.
Okay. So that's 4 people.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And currently, what are the rules for the organization? What rules do you have in place currently?
The rules.
Yeah, like how is the organization run? What are some policies that you've put in place? How are decisions made? How do we get things done in the organization? What does that look like?
Okay, things are done. Basically, as I said, we as executive, we serve in the capacity like board of directors.
Mhm.
But the general membership is the higher decision maker. But in the absence of the general membership, we as executive, we make decision for the organization, and then we carry same to the general membership. So for instance, if anything comes up and it's not near for us to have on a meeting at a time, we call an emergency executive meeting, and then we make a decision on behalf of the community.
Okay.
Then that decision is intended anytime we have the general meeting, or if there's a special call meeting, but then we can let the membership know as to what transpire in the absence of the meeting.
So you make a special call emergency meeting to make decisions.
Yeah.
Decisions. And then let the rest, or let the membership know
Yeah.
what decisions were made. Okay. And what if the membership wants a different outcome? What's the procedure for that?
But basically, if decision already taken and they want a different outcome, then we can do it into that. But if during our meeting, decision is to be taken, and then we take the decision, and then we go back to them, and there's nothing can be done because we are elected as official, so that we can represent the interest of the organization. So in the absence of that, there's nothing can be done because the executive are already taking a decision that could not reach to a meeting date or for a special call meeting. We have some emergency situation, like for instance, this gone trip, we needed a representation. It was carried to the meeting that LAC were having our inauguration, and every community, which is a member of LAC, need to send a representative. But decision was not made in the meeting. But the executive has sent out the information around through email, and everybody consented to what should be done. And we came to an agreement that we should send a 2-man delegate. And the delegation was subsidized by the community, and we made a trip. So now, tomorrow is our meeting, and then we're going to make the report to the general body that this is what happened during the course of the week, and inauguration was up. So LIBCAM sent 2-man delegation, represented us, and this. So it worked in that way sometimes.
The membership community. Detail the outcomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes too in meetings, sometimes we do voting if we want like if they want everybody to take part, people vote on the top, on the subject or whatever we're discussing, we want to come to a conclusion. They always ask for voting and people vote, and the highest number will win, and the decision will be taken.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, that is things that arise during our meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's supposed to a vote. Like for instance, we should have had our end of year program, but because of the COVID, they will push it. So the last meeting that we held, we came to a decision through vote that we should cancel it because we already entering March, so there's no need for end of year.
Okay.
That similar situation the treasurer is alluding to.
Okay. So that's good. At least we have an idea of how things are done, how decisions get made, how procedures come into play, and how you disseminate information to the rest of the membership community. So now, what do you guys have any policies in place? Do you have any written policies that you have for the organization?
Our written policy that we have is the Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah, the Constitution is the one that guides us. So.
Who created that?
Say again?
Who created the Constitution? Was it the larger organization?
The Constitution, before we came into being to be LIBCAM, there were other Liberian community organizations, plenty of groups. And then we did not have one big community. So all the past leadership of the previous organization came together, and then we decided to come and bring one organization. It was this past president that came together and formed the board that put the Constitution together, the present Constitution that put it together. And then it was taken to the body. We had a meeting. It was taken to the body. It was read letter by letter. And then we agreed that we're going to accept it to be our working tool. It was after that election were held and we were elected. So the Constitution was written by the past presidents and reviewed by the body. It was almost like a day set aside that everybody came together and it was read and we all accepted it and it was approved. And was based on that we had election. And then that's why we use now as our working tool, the new leadership.
A guiding document for the organization.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And for the same way, is there a review of the policies on an annual basis? How are things changed as things progress? How do you update those policies? What happens?
I was speaking now, the Constitution is still the same. We have had some development that we need for it to meet present day reality. But because of the COVID, we have not had that meeting. Well, we had a thought about that we'll have to revise the Constitution because there are certain articles there that do not meet present day reality and want to make those changes. So we have that in play already, but because of the COVID, so people could not meet in person. The secretary, he was appointed to serve on as chair of that committee. And we had a committee set already, a 4-man committee set already. But because the COVID came since 2020, they are now working since that time. But we're hoping that things getting better now, we can meet and the committee can start their work to do some revision on the Constitution.
Yeah, and that's why since COVID, a lot of things had to change for organizations.
Exactly.
They had to really, what would have worked then is not going to work now in our new reality. And then we could kind of think of how would we address things like this going forward? What if this happens again? What if something similar or different happens? How are we going to work? And how do we continue to keep the organization running seamlessly that we don't have to stop what we're doing because of these situations? So that's good.
Yeah, COVID is part of it, but the decision was made before even the COVID came for certain aspect. Yeah, like we talk about bereavement, who qualified to receive bereavement package. and the amount of money that should be given to an individual, which family member, is it a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, a first cousin? So these are some of the things that came about at the time.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this, then the COVID too added to this. So there are a lot of things, as you said, that need to be done,
Yeah.
to face the present day reality. Yeah, so it's necessary.
Okay, good. I'm glad. And this is why we have these conversations and have this training to put at the forefront of your mind and to make sure that the organization's always running smooth and effective in the best interest of the members and the community.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we got quite a bit down. We discussed the structure of how the organizations run with the executive leadership team and the chairman of standard committee, how things get done generally, with who makes the decisions, if there's a special call to emergency to make decisions, how that's done, discussing the executive leadership and the report that circulates and how final decisions are made. We just discussed the constitution that guides your organization as well. So that's great. All right. So now we're going to continue. So to be successful, all organizations, as I said, must have checks and balances. So we want to make sure reporting lines are clear, which we just discussed. And we want to make sure decision rights are clear as well. Decide how much each person's vote has so that if a decision must be made, when there is still a disagreement, there is no doubt how to resolve it. So let's talk about that a bit, right? We kind of had a discussion on disagreement resolution, but you said there's no way to really change a decision once it's been made. So let's say it hasn't been made. There's a voting process, you said, and does every person have equal weight of their votes? Because there might be somebody who has somebody else's proxy and their vote counts as 2, whereas somebody else might count as 1. So does everybody have equal weight in voting?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Everybody have, so one man, one vote. So it's the same system.
One man, one
Even
vote.
me as a president too, I also got one vote. So it's one man, one vote.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And what's the process to resolve disagreements within the organization? What steps or process do you have in place to deal with that?
If it's a disagreement, like 2 or 3 members, we have a committee, that's the conflict resolution committee.
Uh-huh.
They handle that aspect of it.
How?
Conflict resolution committee. But if it happens in the meeting, but it is a meeting, like disagreement based on policy or any other thing,
Yeah.
then we can take that to an executive meeting. Yeah, but it's so it's two different ways to do that.
So, oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Say that again.
Yeah, because
Hello?
can you hear me?
Okay, now I hear you. You're frozen though, but
Hello?
Yeah.
yes. Oh, you're in your car.
I go to
Hello? Is it just me or he's freezing for everybody,
no,
right?
we're not. He's frozen. I'm not hearing it either.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I don't know what maybe he's moving some other place. That's all. Okay, yes. I wonder he's going somewhere.
It looks that way. It looks like he's in his car. He's probably gonna get out and come back in. Well, in the meantime, can anybody else answer the conflict resolution question?
Yeah, the conflict resolution, that's what he said. I mean, we have the conflict resolution in
Committee.
place for, the committee in place that when someone has problem with a community member, they come to that conflict resolution. But like he said, if it is in a meeting and something comes up, then the officials will have to discuss about that. That's what he was trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes to the executive, it goes to an executive meeting for further discussion to
Yes.
resolve the
To
disagreement.
resolve it, yeah. But then if it beyond the executive, then we send it over to the conflict resolution committee.
Okay. And they have their procedures, I guess, that they run through.
Yeah.
Do you know what they are?
No, I'm not part of that committee. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we hear you.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Hello?
We hearing you.
Hello?
I don't think he's hearing us.
No, he's not.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you. Can you hear us?
No, he's not hearing us.
No, he's not hearing us. We hear you.
Yeah, so,
We hear you. Can you hear us?
so that's
Hello,
it.
Can
That's
you hear me now?
That's it. We
Okay.
hearing you, Bernard, but you're not hearing us.
No, I hear you now.
Okay, then now
Oh.
you're hearing us now. But I was saying we
Yeah,
been
because
saying hello.
I call the Bluetooth on, I was giving the problem.
Yeah, but your voice are all trembling and they still sticking, so we hearing you now. Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Bluetooth, they're disconnected. I'm going to pick up demo.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So did you get my point clear on the conflict resolution?
For the most part, you're saying if there's a disagreement, the conflict resolution committee will handle the conflict or any aspect of the conflict. But if it's within a meeting where there's a disagreement happening, then it goes to the executive meet. It goes to an executive meeting for further discussion to resolve the disagreement. However, you're not sure how the disagreement is really resolved or what methods the conflict resolution committee really uses to resolve the conflict. You just know that you'll get a decision later.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened is the conflict resolution, they have not been tested. So we don't know which technique they use, but they have never been tested before.
Okay.
And we thank God for that we have now reached the point.
Yeah.
So that we can call the conflict resolution committee. But so we don't know the strategy, but we know they are able people who can be able to do things. Unfortunately, the chairman, he passed away sometime last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And appointment will be made because tomorrow is Sunday. We have a community meeting, and the replacement will be known by the body. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have not been tested before. So it's just the executive that have been making the decisions.
Okay, well, I guess that's good since no real conflict has come up that needed to test that system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. So then we're going to move on now to your resource strategy linkage. And this is where we're touching on the executive staff leadership training that focuses on program management, sustainability, strategic plan. And the strategy resource linkage, the first step in checking this resource linkage is to identify the resource requirements for the current strategy or new strategic proposal. And then this is followed by a comparison of the required resources with those actually available or readily available to the business. And with this, the identification of the resource gaps. So this is the exercise that we're going to work on right now. We're going to look at each resource category, which is marketing, operations, development, financial, human resources, and reputation, which is the brand of the organization, or anything else we come up with, which is other. We're going to look at what resources are required for that, and then what you actually have available to you right now, so we can see what the major gaps are and how we're going to close these gaps. So are we ready for that?
Yeah.
Good. Let me just pull up that document. Okay, perfect. So when it comes to marketing, right?
Yeah.
What resources are required? How are you marketing your organization right now?
Right now for LIBCAM, we have several marketing strategies that we use. We have our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
We have our website.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a libcam.org email.
What is that? Oh,
The email that is attached to the website
okay.
at libcam.org, and then we'll have the regular LIBCAM email. And then we also have when we're having program, we print flyers and handout that we use so that the public can be aware of whatsoever program we are undertaking.
Okay.
And also we have a Facebook chat room that was created by one of our members, and people go there to and send out information on that.
Facebook page and Facebook chat room.
Yeah, then on the WhatsApp, we have our LIBCAM project page on the WhatsApp that we use to update information. Like we are doing this meeting, and I also post the recording on that page.
So this
So
is
those
to
are some of the
communicate to the
markets.
executives, right?
It's to the entire membership, those who own our
Oh.
Facebook page for the LIBCAM project update. That's how they call it, the LIBCAM project update that I created.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have the recordings are there. I think after that there will be the tier one, I suppose. That'll be on our page.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
So you
that's
only
some of
use
the
Facebook to communicate as social media. You
Facebook.
don't use Instagram or anything else?
We have not opened our community Instagram, but members have Instagram, members have Twitter, members
So you
have
don't have it yet.
TikTok. Yeah, but for us, we have Facebook, we have our website, and the WhatsApp, basically.
Okay. Who checks the Facebook page and the Facebook chat room regularly?
Or the Facebook chat room is
It's
the
me.
administrator for that is the treasurer, and
The
I think
treasurer.
and the chairman for social and sport, who's a Judah Suku. So those are the people that take care of that area. They're the one can add and subtract on that page. So nobody just go there and put things there. They
Okay,
are the
perfect.
administrator for that area. But for the chat room, people go there and post their own thing. So it just open.
Okay.
And for the website, we have Mark Okwe. He's the one that takes care of the website. So I send the information to him, and then we edit it, and then he can put it on the website for the community.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And for the
what about
correspondent
events?
for events, yeah, events are posted on the Facebook chat room. Events are posted on the Facebook page. They are also posted on the website. On the and we also put it on the WhatsApp.
Do you advertise in any community newspapers or anything like that?
Yeah, of recent, Akome created a website, and then any community that have an event, you can post it to that Akome website.
So there's a community website.
And there's an African newspaper created by a guy. He also encouraged us to even send information about programs and other aspects. So we have used that before in the past. It's like a weekly newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah, we also post event in that part of it.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Let me see what else we have here. Just going to check and see if there's anything that I missed. Okay, and I guess there's no PR or media, really.
PR, we have
Public
PR
relations. You have PR?
It be a long time now. But when our country was affected by the Ebola, we had a PR at the time where I was in place in the newspaper, and we had a on the radio, CJOB. So that was the time, in extreme cases, the media come in. So that will be our first and only experience since that time.
Okay. But not since then.
Yeah.
All right.
That was in 2014.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to look at operations. And we're going to look at what resources are required for operations, and that's to run the organization. So we're going to say computers. Definitely.
The first resource is money.
Well, that's when we get to
Then-
financial, but right now we're just thinking of operations, right? So
Yeah. So for operational equipment, as you said, we need computers.
yeah, I'll put money though. Money and
Yeah.
funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have computers.
Yeah.
What about
We need printers.
printers? Okay.
Yeah. We need an
What else?
office space. Office
Space.
that we have. Like, we don't have a permanent area. We just have a place for a year. So
Okay.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, and we need a place, the office place, and a place for a meeting, like what we have meeting all the time. If we,
Yeah. Office space, meeting space.
yeah,
Yeah.
What else do we have here? What about volunteers?
Oh, yeah, we need volunteer staff. We also need even paid staff. In the
So you need
future, we're thinking
staff.
about having.
I saw human resources here, so I thought you were going to be on that as well.
Yeah, when we get to human resources, but for operations, this is what you need. So you need
We
staff,
need other, okay, staff, yeah.
paid and volunteer.
Volunteers, yeah.
Yeah.
We need vehicle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we gotta have mobile something to be able to carry people around.
Zanet. Yeah.
Around and for deliveries or pickups or to pick up supplies.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other types of equipment that might be needed?
We need musical, like we need speakers and mics and other stuff there.
Okay, so equipment such as speakers and mics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaker, mic, and maybe
Need a podium.
podium, yeah.
Yep.
And we need a piano.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's doing piano lesson now, so she will take care of that one.
That's awesome. Piano. Any like projectors or televisions
Projector,
or
yeah,
anything like that?
projector.
Yeah, we need projector. We even need a conference telephone that can conduct conference calls.
Okay. Do you have a dedicated phone number for the organization?
No.
But now only my phone we use now. So
Where
but
the-
we have a phone number. We have a phone number for the office, our present office. We have a phone number.
Go bring it home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm not there every day. I visited 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my phone is on me 24/7. So yeah.
Okay. So we have quite a bit there.
Yeah.
So now we're going to look at development. When we're talking about development, we're looking at templates, any training like what you're doing now, business planning documents, any presentation materials, sales training, like what kind of things do you need? What does the organization need or does the board need for development? What are your required resources?
Well, the person, there are a lot of things that we need, looking at a new organization coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like one of which we are doing now, the capacity building.
Okay.
Yeah, we will help out, and then we need some administrative training and how to prepare certain documents, on a standardized level.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi,
Good
Rahim.
afternoon.
I'm so sorry, guys. I come from one training with one of our clients, JTWC, Jehovah the Workers.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
want to come in quickly and join you guys.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
We're halfway through.
If I can add to what Mr. Kumi just said, what about financial auditing report training?
Mm,
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's one of those important aspects too.
yeah, definitely. Thank you. I like when you come right in with ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these are my people, so I know what they want.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the areas we are struggling. Sometimes we can get good funding, but when it comes to our financial documents, sometimes it can prevent us to applying for higher funding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Training how to prepare that without going to external client, external sources will be very good.
Very expensive. Very expensive too.
That is true. That is true.
Oh yeah. Very, very expensive.
Okay, so that's good. What about onboarding materials?
Say
When you're
again?
bringing on onboarding material, when you're bringing on new staff members, how do you train them on how the organization runs?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Is it orientation?
Yeah,
Orientation
onboarding
is the
and
general
orientation
word.
materials. Yeah.
Yeah.
Orientation materials, yeah.
So, okay, that financial auditing report, would that require training on QuickBook?
It depends on what program you want to use.
Okay.
QuickBooks could be one of them,
Okay.
but it's really understanding how to create financial statements, income
Yes.
statements, balance sheets, cash flow
Yeah.
statements,
Okay.
accurately to ensure that it represents what's happening with the organization.
Yes. Even myself, I will need that training too.
I got you.
Yeah. Sometimes I literally have to face some of these things for clients based
Yeah.
on the work I have done for them. As when
Yeah.
I do it
Emergency.
sometimes, it can be very challenging. Yeah.
It can be. If it's not your wheelhouse, it can be.
Mhm.
Okay. So we have here capacity building, administration training on how to prepare certain documents, financial auditing report training, orientation materials. What else can we think of?
We on the financial, right?
Well, no, we're still on development. Is that it for development?
Okay.
Financials next.
Public speaking could be part of it.
Public speaking training. That's important.
Yeah.
To be honest, I did many years of public speaking training
So
before I even
the-
did what I did.
Public
The
speaking and leadership is good.
So the development of the organization.
Development
Is
of the
it?
organization and the members and the board. Like,
And
what
the
do you
and the
need
board.
to help develop the organization and the board
Oh,
itself?
okay.
Isn't that what we're doing? Isn't that something similar we're doing with this training?
Well,
Training,
yes,
yeah, we need
Yeah,
a lot of training.
I put that here. That was like the first
Yeah,
thing:
the training
capacity
already
building
there.
training and strategic planning training.
And yeah, training. What else again? Maybe to attend some conferences. Is it the same training? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a training. That's
Yeah,
a
it
training.
is a
Yeah,
type of training.
it could be administrative exposure. I don't know what kind of word I use for that.
Yeah, administration. So conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Symposium or something like that.
Yeah. I'll put
So you attend it, you
symposiums.
get experiences from there,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you get to
Yeah.
speak to other organizations and see how they do things and
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, discuss.
that when public speaking to come in. Yeah. It's people overlook that, but it's very difficult.
Yeah,
Public speaking?
Oh yeah,
Public
public speaking is
speaking,
an
yeah.
area by itself. It's an area by itself.
It can be.
It's easier for Santiago because she has been doing it for many years.
I have been doing it
Yeah.
for a while, but I did actually Toastmasters training. I did a lot of public
Okay.
speaking. I spoke at events. I've been doing it for
Yeah.
years, but for me to get this good, but initially I was nervous. I
Yeah.
used to
Also,
feel
Everybody give me
bad.
nervous.
Yeah,
Everybody give me
it was
nervous.
it was a subject when we were in high school. Public speaking was
It's
a subject in
nerve-wracking.
Haywood. Yeah, it was a subject for grade
They
They
11
don't
and
do
Sometimes,
that
12.
anymore. I don't think they
Yeah.
actually provide that anymore. I think you have to go look for it
No.
on your own now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got my experience from school because it was a subject in high school. Public speaking.
that was good.
Yeah, public speaking and leadership. Attending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we're good with development. And like I
Development.
said, if there's anything else that we could think of,
Yeah.
you'll have access to the documents and you can add things in later if necessary. So now we're at financial. What
Yay.
financial? What financial resources do we need to ensure the organization is running efficiently? So we need money. I'm just gonna put money there.
Yeah, we
Can you
put the money.
can you put
Yeah,
that?
so we need a lot of for LIBCAM, we have the payment.
Sorry, say that again.
We have due payment.
Okay. Dues payments, yeah.
Yeah, we have programs like our July 26th program. We
So-
raise money.
Santiago, are you looking for financial resources that will help to improve the organization? Or
Yes, financial, the
Yeah,
required
want
resources.
They want you to get resources. You already have those ones that are existing, but something they can identify that can help to increase the existing capacity of the organization. Am I
So I
correct?
think, and I think dues payments will be something that they need to increase in order to help facilitate funding. More grants.
Yeah, so what you can say again, you can say training how to do non-for-profit fundraising, strategic training on
Yeah.
non-for-profit fundraising training.
Not for profit fundraising training. Okay.
For staff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's good.
What about increase? So you can say increase the submission of grant annually. Okay,
Increase the submission of grants.
more grant on an annual basis. So as a not-for-profit, you don't have profit coming in, right? So the more proposal you submit, the more likely you have to get more funding. So
That's true.
one of the ways you can do that is increase the submission of more funding out there. At least submit about 5 or 6.
Yep.
They can be approved so they can remain in business, right?
Yeah. Sounds good. What about sponsorship? Are there any
Yes,
organizations to look for sponsorship?
Yeah, they have gotten the sponsorship from Africa something, right? Before, right?
Yeah,
Mr. Cummings?
he's in the car. I'm not sure if he's hearing you right now.
Okay. Is that Regina?
Yeah, Regina's on here. She's on mute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys got some collaboration or sponsorship from ECU, eh? That's what they call it, ECAM, or what is it called?
We,
The African health organization that is there.
or how they call them? Akumi?
Akumi, yeah. So
Yeah.
ACUMI?
No, Akumi is ACOMI.
ACOMI?
Yeah, Akumi.
what about sponsorship from supermarket?
Okay.
You asking me, Rahim?
Yes.
No, I was thinking maybe if it does something that is relevant for us to add.
Yeah, sponsorship from supermarket is because for the food program, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see, is there anything else? And
Are
we
we still on financial?
yeah, we're on financial, so we need like a dedicated, like Rahim
Okay.
said, QuickBooks or whatever the financial program that you use to manage this.
Yes.
So a financial program.
Yeah,
dedicated
financial program. Yeah, financial program.
financial program and software, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, software. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So for financial, we got money, dues, dues payments, increase the submission of grant applications on an annual basis, strategic training on not-for-profit fundraising, training sponsorship from organizations such as ECOMI, sponsorship from supermarkets, financial programs, or software.
Yeah.
Another thing is taxation, because we always,
Mm.
yeah, taxation, we tax the organization members. Yeah, and that helped us a lot because some time ago we had to tax each family. We went with like family head and single parent and other stuff, and we got good bit of money. So the taxation plays a lot of role in that
So
part of the area. Yeah.
without for other fundraising strategies on membership contribution, or that's taxation.
Well, I'll just put it separate.
That is
Yeah, it
different
can
from
be-
Monday contribution, right?
It could be part of the
Yeah,
contribution,
yeah,
but
what I
we
want
could
to
just make
know-
it specific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Regina,
Yeah.
besides the Monday contribution, you can also tax individual when you have
Yes.
the event,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then how do you categorize that in Chantel?
Yeah.
So it's a
So let me give you the context. So let us
Yeah.
say on a monthly basis, every member have to pay like $100, right?
yeah.
However, when they're having a youth event and they don't have enough budget to undertake like youth event, they can say, okay, we have $2,000 for the youth event. However, the overall project for the youth event is $4,000. So could each individual contribute $100 or $150?
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
That's
So
how we do.
that's the taxation I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Volunteer
so it's
contribution
not
for members.
actual taxation. So it's kind of like
Volunteer contribution.
it is a contribution.
It's
Yeah,
a contribution, but I just saying taxation because we tax people, we tax them and say, okay, you bring this person bring 500 and this person bring 250 and this person pay 100. So if it's on a contribution, that would be okay. But I was just saying the taxation because
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I put taxation, I put in brackets program contribution. So
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's good.
I'll understand what that means specifically. Okay. So I think we hit quite a bit for financial. So now let's look at human resources.
That's one area that I really want to focus on again.
Yeah.
So
What-
after all of this, guy, we are coming to the main training, right? These are just identifying some key stuff, right, Santel?
We did a little bit of governance training already, so you missed that piece where we're talking about how, I'll just go back really quickly for you. We talk about the structure of the organization. So the executive leadership committee, the chairman, and the standard committee. We talk about how they get things done, the general membership, how decisions are made, how the executive leadership makes decisions. What if there's, how do people vote? How, they make a special emergency call to make decisions. What happens if members want a different outcome? What do they do? Then we also talked about the policies, what policies that they have. We talked about the Constitution that guides them, the past president creating that Constitution, the updates and how those things are done. So we went through a lot of that initial structure and rules of the of how it's governed. Excellent. Then we talked about disagreement resolution. What happens if there's a disagreement? How do we resolve that? So we talk about the conflict resolution committee, what they do, then it's taken to another meeting. If it happens within a meeting, it's taken to an executive meeting for further discussion to resolve the disagreement. Gratefully, there hasn't been any test to the strategy yet for the conflict resolution. So we're not sure what the process is that the conflict resolution committee actually uses to resolve conflict because they haven't had to use it, but they know that it is in place. So we had that disagreement resolution conversation. And now we're just identifying the resource gaps. We're really looking at the resource gaps that the organization has and how to fill them. And then we're going to get into a little more leadership training because I made everybody do that Myers-Briggs personality test, and we'll move on from there. Excellent. We have 50 minutes left, so we're trying to cram it all in.
Sorry, guy, I don't mean to take you guys back. I know Santel is doing a good job. I just wanted to I just thought of it. So okay, maybe at the end of the day, this is what we are getting to. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so we're at human resources.
Human resources. So if I talk about human resources, is that my thinking is how do we get staff paid, right?
Mm,
Most of the staff right now are volunteering, right? Sometimes we get project, we get some project, we get extra money, all of that, sometimes facilitate their movement, but most of the time they're not being paid.
so
when
you
you
want
talk
paid
about-
staff.
Exactly. How do we address that?
Okay. So that's
Would
gonna
that
be,
for other resources? Is that
yeah,
relevant?
that's definitely it. How to address it. That's gonna be the gap is, so we're looking at the required resources now. The required resources are you need paid staff. Then we're gonna look at the available resources. We don't have any available resources right now to pay staff. So that's really the major gap, is trying to figure out how to fund that. And then we're gonna get to the gap closing analysis. How do we close that? So we're gonna have to look back at the financial opportunities that we have. How are we bringing in revenue? How much are we bringing in? And how much can we actually afford to pay somebody? How many people can we afford to pay? Can we have one dedicated staff member that just manages the operations of the organization? And then how do we get to 2? So that's what we're going to look at as we delve deeper into the strategic plan. We just need, right now, we're just identifying what the organization actually needs. So it has volunteers, but it probably needs some more. Paid staff, and we're going to really focus on how to address it. What else? Again, we're going to put onboarding materials here because that's part of human resources.
Yeah, so when you talk about recruitment strategy, right? What mechanisms?
Yes, recruiting strategy. So therefore, we're going to look at what job specs do you have created so that you can post? Where are we going to post them? That kind of stuff. Where are we looking to find these people?
Okay.
Okay.
The job posting might be on
Website.
on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And
the website,
post it on our WhatsApp group.
Yes. And LIBCAM website, we are currently
LIBCAM website, yeah.
Yeah, we are currently working on developing the content of the website, but late next week, those will be available to the web designer consultant.
Okay.
And we'll go
Sorry for posting job specs. And what about policies and procedures for the organization on how the job's supposed to run and how you run your organization? They're going to need access to that.
Yes, for sure. So can we say division of labor in terms of department stuff like that?
Division of labor, you said?
Yeah. So because the information we are developing right now for their website, as we discussed before, me and you, Chantel, before the meeting. Remember we said we are developing 4 main programs?
Yes.
Right, like youth services, senior women program, senior program, and food delivery program. How do we compartmentalize that, right? How do we break down into department and assign each individual to that? And that's the content you mean here?
Yes, different departments for the different programs.
Exactly, and how that is run by each individual, right?
Yeah. You also need program facilitators.
Yes. Yeah, for each of those programs, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We're identifying all the needs. What else? What else can we think of? Let's see. Maybe a project management system.
Project man. Okay, yeah. Project management system.
That's like to run the schedule, to run the programs, to run the members, who's attending, those kind of things. To keep track of all of that.
Exactly. So if we get funding for a youth program, at least we have somebody there that's going to take care of that particular program. He or she is there assigned to that. So any funding that is available for the coordinator of that program, that money will go to that person as a pay staff for that particular period, for the last one of that project. That is one way we can encourage or we can mitigate the human resources aspect in terms of employment or unemployment or part-time, right?
Yes, definitely. And then that's when you have like, your computer programs or software to help manage the system on the back end so everybody can see what's
Exactly.
being done.
Exactly.
And have a similar one for each department.
Exactly. And that is why when we get funding for the senior program, everybody have to be involved somehow, but there's one main person that is assigned to that. Okay.
Yes.
There's one or two person that is assigned to that. So it should not, there should be a division of labor. So everybody should know if Regina want to get some information to somebody in the community for the senior program, for senior program, she will know who to contact.
Yeah.
Say, oh, I know the person that is heading that department. Here's the person number. Call the person will help you. So we can create that division of labor. Everybody know who is a program manager for this program.
Yes. Yeah. And probably for our next training, we're going to work on the organizational chart, because now we're identifying what we need. Then next time we get together, we're going to work on the organizational chart. So we have the executive leadership committee, then we'll break it up into departments, and then who we need in each department so that everything runs smooth, so we can see it like that.
Yes, I really want that to be the next one, so that at least a lot of people get a sense of understanding why. Because my concern is I want these people to be assigned. I have developed something like that for them before. We've got one of the project, how is department, technology, human, community outreach program, stuff like that. So if we can put in the context of everybody and we'll assign each individual to those ones. So if Regina is a head of a women program, if the funding come, everybody will know. If the funding come, if it's $5,000 allocated for Regina for 1 year for that training, that $5,000 is going to her to be able to take that to be able to manage that program, so that there will be no arbiter raise. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Because if that is not put in order, money comes. Everybody says, why she's
where's it going?
Money?
Yeah, where's it going? So therefore, it makes it easy to see. This is the money that's allocated. These are the departments it's going to. These are the people in charge of these departments. They're the ones who are controlling the budget. This is how it's going to work.
Excellent.
So that's what we're going to work. But right now, we need to identify what we need. So therefore, when we get there next time, we know who to put in place.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we have a pretty good list so far. Is there anything else you guys can think of for human resources?
No, I think it's pretty done. If anybody get anything later, we can.
I think we already covered most of the thing already. So
okay, perfect.
So what can you say? Training human resources team on diversity and employment strategy, something like that. I don't know how to say it.
Oh, so human resources training on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Excellent. You think that will fit in our context?
Yes. Because DEI doesn't just refer to the BIPOC community, it could refer to LGBTQ, it could refer to disabled, it could refer to, so many things. So, and how to inclusively include them in the organization, either as staff members, when we're hiring, or even as part of the membership, and how we're going to treat everybody fair and equitably. So that is a good one. Okay. Thank you, Raheem.
Yeah. I actually waited for this training today so I can include it in the report that we are submitting this before the month end.
Okay.
So yeah, once we are done, Santel, you don't have to add it back to it. Okay, we'll discuss that anyway.
Okay.
So I'm submitting one of the quarterly report this March.
Okay, sounds good.
So adding this to that will be really good.
Perfect. And okay, so we're going to go to the next section, which is reputation. When we think of reputation, we're thinking of the brand, right? So we're looking at what are the required resources to really get the word out about the brand, about the organization, about what they're doing. The more people know about it, the more funding comes your way, the more membership comes your way, the more dues come your way. And the more notoriety the organization gets, then when you're applying for funding, it's a lot easier to access it because they know about you, they know what you're doing, they know you're doing good work, and they want to just give you money, even sponsors. So word of mouth, I'd put, is a good way to get word out.
Word of mouth is one. They can say website through CEO.
Yes.
Search engine optimization. We are working on that right now.
The SEO, you said?
CEO, search engine optimization.
Oh, that's SEO, like search engine optimization. Yeah, SEO.
Yeah. On the website, we are working on that right now. They do have social media page.
So, yeah, they said they just have Facebook though. So
So, okay,
maybe,
okay, our website consultant is going to give us Twitter, YouTube,
okay, good.
and Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, yeah.
That's part of the cultural team.
Twitter, YouTube. Oh, somebody's coming back in. YouTube and Instagram. Good. You need all of those,
Yeah, we do.
especially when you're trying to hit the youth. They're not on Facebook. So
Not their own Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter as well. Yeah.
so you want to make sure that you're going where they are. What else? What else for reputation? We're talking about PR, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about getting some more PR about what the organization is doing. So getting some type of
So
media outlet.
What about collaboration with other non-for-profit community organizations in the neighborhood or in the community? What about that?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Community outreach, yes. Because that is how we can get a lot of support from other organizations to support our initiative.
That's a brilliant one, because you can share resources, you could share, if you come together and make it a bigger thing, then therefore you get more media attention. Even you might get somebody from a newspaper to come and write about it. That's building the brand. You want to build the brand as much as possible. Anything else for reputation?
I think that's it so far.
I think we hit the major ones. So then we're others. So those are the required resources, right? So now we're gonna look at, yes?
I wanted to recommend something though. Is it possible to include other people on their website who are not necessarily member of the organization? Because that's how PR can be done too as well.
What do you mean, like
Including
testimonials?
They have a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that WhatsApp group, I believe, is only limited to the membership, right?
yeah, only
Yes.
for LIBCAM members.
Okay, so I was thinking if they can go beyond that and add other people who are not just member, would that be a possibility? Would that be probably a PR or something strategy?
It could help with the branding, but where do you want to add them? To the WhatsApp chat group, or you want to create a different chat?
Maybe create a different chat and add
Yeah,
people to that, other than, because the main chat group they have on that's for internal news. And then
Yeah.
create something for external news where you can add people from other communities that they can see what you are doing in the community. Because WhatsApp messages can flow through WhatsApp quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. I think we'll
So-
have a different one.
creating LIBCAM publish a website chat group, something like that.
So I said create a different chat group for external community groups and members to participate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
So
testimonials.
access LIBCAM information, something like that.
Participate and access LIBCAM information. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And I also put testimonials, like having testimonials on the website or on things from people who have benefited from the programs and support that they've received from LIBCAM goes a long way as well. And I'm sure the website consultant will have something like that on the site.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. So those are all the things that are required. So now we want to go through that list. We're going to start back at marketing and see what's available and what is missing. So just really quickly, we went through marketing and we said the required resources were, the Facebook page, the chat room, the LIBCAM organizational email, the regular LIBCAM email, flyers and handouts, WhatsApp for the community, treasurer and sport committee member manages those pages, events that are posted on the Facebook page, community website, African newspapers to promote the organization, a weekly newsletter, and PR for the organization. When the community was affected by Ebola, that's the only time that PR was actually done for the organization. So out of those required resources, what do we have available to us? We definitely have available to us the Facebook, websites. What else do we have? So we said events are posted on the Facebook page, but what we don't have is a space So,
Allocated for that, yes.
right, that's a major gap, no event space or meeting space for the organization. Also, no dedicated PR.
Yeah.
PR person or marketing person. So those are some major gaps we're identifying. And what about writing blog posts on a regular basis about what the organization's doing? Do we have somebody to do that?
I think we'll have to assign that to the website. There's somebody that delegated to the website. They have someone that does that. But yeah, we should include that for now. Maybe that's something we can discuss with that guy.
Yeah.
As we go along. Because after developing, there's one thing to create a nice website, but there's one thing to maintain it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I put that in one of the major gaps. We need blog posts and constant and regular content
Mhm.
to put on the website. Also, what about a newsletter that goes out monthly to the members or the organization or non-members to let them know what LIBCAM is doing?
Yes. Yeah, that should be one. Yeah, the
And
newsletter.
that one would be, yeah, that would be good too.
Yeah,
the
that'd be
newsletter
good because there's one already, a guy in
Yeah.
the Sierra Leone community is operating that.
Okay.
yeah, every week, right? Or every month.
Yeah,
Or even every
every Saturday.
month.
If it come up every Saturday, so every Saturday come up.
You don't want to
So
take on a task
as
that
a,
might be
it come
too
as a
much.
flyer or come on their social media page.
Yes, you
It
can.
come, you can email. It can an email. It come as an email too, but it's like a newsletter.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they got Lance Oman from the Sierra Leone community. It's a weekly. Every Saturday come up.
So that's one person who does it weekly, but for your organization that's new, maybe doing it once a month might be the best
Yes.
strategy. So it doesn't overwhelm you. So, you know,
No,
at the beginning of the month,
monthly.
yeah,
Monthly is good.
every month
Yeah,
we're going to
there-
tell you
there-
what
there-
LIBCAM
there
is
is-
doing and what we need.
Okay.
Okay.
There is a reason we're going to department last this session, each of the places, right? So everybody can know what they're doing.
Yes. And put some ideas in the head. So therefore we're like, okay, this is what we discussed. We need to find somebody who can do this. And then even volunteers could do it. If somebody just builds a template, then as you get volunteers, they could be like, okay, we need to get more support here. We want to generate more awareness about this. We put it in the newsletter, we send it out to the community because you're going to have emails for everybody who's part of your membership. And then they
Exactly.
can
And
share
that
it out to other people.
Exactly. And that is why I want them to create a standard WhatsApp group because it's easy to get WhatsApp to get the people.
Yeah.
To create a second WhatsApp group for standard uses so that not just membership can receive it. Because right
Yep.
now, by the time we are done with the training, LIBCAM's scope of operation will extend beyond the librarians themselves. It's going to other communities,
Yes,
right?
it
In
has
doing
to.
so, yeah. In doing so, our services should, information about our services should go out to many other communities in the city.
And this is easy way to do it by doing a newsletter. You could have them sign up and just receive it. You don't have to be part of the membership to get it. So that's really good. Okay, so those are some major gaps that we identified. So now we're going to go to operations and what we said that is required: computers, obviously funding, printers, office space, meeting space, staff, a vehicle, speakers, microphones, podium, piano, projector, conference, telephone, dedicated phone line for the organization. What do you currently have available to you?
Well, I think they have printer.
So they have printers.
We got
Yeah.
printer, we got laptop, we got
laptop.
laptop.
They will need more laptop.
So you have
Yeah,
laptops, but you need more.
Yeah, need more
Yeah.
computer. I would say computer and computer monitor.
Okay. You definitely need, I'm gonna put in the gaps. We need, again, we're putting office space.
Yeah.
The vehicle, you don't have the dedicated vehicle. So that's something, that's a gap. What about, do you have any of the equipment already? Speakers, microphones, or anything like that?
No.
No equipment. And like we said, a dedicated phone number for the organization that doesn't just ring to Mr. Kume's phone.
I know.
I know that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what we did last year, we were able to get delegated phone number for JTWC. The client are just submitting there right now. Through one of the
Okay.
projects, we were able to get their office and delegated phone number.
Okay, yeah, that's something that we definitely need. So
But those things
therefore,
add value to our organization.
of course it is.
Yeah.
And it's not just ringing to somebody's phone is just going to say, hello, how can I help you? But it's a dedicated phone line for the organization that whoever's there can answer it. Or maybe it's like a universal number that will ring to it and then, call in a succession whoever is available to call. It's like a single number reach. I think Bell used to have something like that where it's one number, but you can make it ring to different people. So it seems like it's the organization phone. It has like a standard message, and then it'll be like, please hold while we contact the person you're looking for. And then
Yes.
it'll ring and you'll know that it's somebody for the organization specifically.
Yeah, that'll be straight.
Okay, good. So we're identifying some gaps. So now we're going to look at development, capacity building, administration training, and how to prepare certain documents, financial auditing, report training, orientation materials, public speaking training, strategic planning training, conference, and symposiums. Do we have any of these resources available to us now? Yes, right now you have the strategic planning training.
Yeah, that's
And
all we have
capacity
right now.
building.
That what we're on now.
Yes. Strategic planning and capacity building training. Okay, outside of that, it looks like we need everything else.
Yes.
Everything else is a gap. Literally, that's what I put. Everything else is a gap that needs to be filled. It's much easier than writing everything over again. So we're gonna skip to financial. So we have money, dues payments, increase the submission of grant applications on an annual basis, strategic training on not-for-profit fundraising, sponsorship from organizations, sponsorship from supermarkets, financial program software, and taxation program, which is what's happening now. So out of all of these, what do we have available to us? We have some dues available to us, you said,
Yes.
right?
Monthly contribution, I think so.
Right, monthly dues. We also have some grant applications, right?
Yes.
Grant
We have
applications.
one ongoing and one just got approved. I think so.
Perfect. So we have grant applications that are in the works. Out of that, what else do we have?
That's it.
And then we need everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. Need every other gap to be filled. Okay. For human resources. So right now you said you have volunteers.
Everybody is volunteering right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone is a volunteer. I'm putting that down.
Everyone volunteering. Nobody gets paid.
You said you have the website for posting
yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
Or we have the website. We have the Facebook group and page.
Yeah.
WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group. Okay. Now what we need is paid staff.
Yes.
We need the recruitment
Honorarium.
materials.
Yes. Orientation training.
Orientation training materials. We need the organizational chart for the division of labor.
Yes.
Yeah.
of the different programs. We need the human resources training on DEI.
Yes. Can you spell out that DEI something?
Yes, I did. I wrote it out. I did write it out. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay. We need the project management system.
Yeah.
And we need the policies and procedures written out. Okay. Okay. And then for reputation, I mean, what do we have available to us right now? We have word of mouth available to us for sure. You're working on the website SEO.
Yeah.
We're working on social media.
You can see available,
Social media?
available right now.
Yeah, that's available right now. The website and the SEO is available right now.
You
Social
can also
media.
say- You can also say YouTube, Twitter, all this stuff, because we
Yep.
already we know we are getting that, right?
Yeah, so
Because
I have that already.
when we
All
are writing
social
a
media.
we're writing a report. This is something we are going to include in it.
Okay. So we have that. What else? Okay, so what we do need though is the collaboration with other not-for-profit organizations. We also need to create a different chat group for the external community. And we definitely want to get some testimonials.
Yeah.
We don't have those yet. Okay. Beautiful. That is beautiful. So now, oh, somebody else is talking. Okay. So,
Go ahead. Guys,
Yeah.
you guys have to pay attention.
yeah, we're almost done. We have 20 minutes and we're almost done. So that's perfect. So we finished with this part of the document. I have the notes down in your folder. So we're going to move on to a bit of leadership training.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this. Yes?
Something, 1 second. Can you mute your phone, please, guys?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay.
So I don't have to yell too. Okay, so we're looking at the strategy management preference linkage, and the strategic preferences of the managers have their roots in the manager's personal attributes, character, competence, and job contexts. So your personal attributes generate tendencies towards certain types of action, depth of character influences what managers will do, and competence influences what they can do, and the job context adds a web of behavioral incentives and constraints. And together, these factors influence how managers perceive business situations and explore strategic possibilities and evaluate options. So the role of the management preferences in the strategic plan is you and your management colleagues, you drive the strategy. Right? The strategic preferences of the managers have their roots in the manager's personal attributes, characters, and like I just said. And we're gonna realize that with the personal attributes, everybody encompasses differences in their personality traits, right? Such as being an introvert or an extrovert, which influence how people relate to one another, as well as one's preferences for processing information. And so when we're looking at this and looking at how the team works together, it's good to understand what your personality profile is, so that ensure that you're working in the right department and you're in the right place within the organization. Because if you're an introvert and you prefer to be behind a computer, but I put you to do public speaking, that's not going to fit. And you're probably not going to do a good job, and we're going to wonder why. But it's because your personality is more tending towards being introverted. So that's why I had Raheem send out the Myers-Briggs personality test to everybody yesterday. And, let's just go through quickly. What were your personality profiles? If you can share them.
Is all these people online already? Is most of them online?
Yeah, the personality profiles are online, and they said that they did them.
I mean, the participants, are they there right now? Are they online? Because for some reason they are mute.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
told him to
muted
mute.
because of a
Yeah, you
background
said to
noise.
mute.
That's why we muted. We here.
Oh, okay, okay.
So who's gonna go first and tell me their personality type?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, tell me.
I had a protagonist. Yeah,
You're a protagonist.
yes, that was
ENFJ, right?
correct.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah.
Okay.
I also
So,
did it to myself, but that's why I came up to it. So
oh, you did. Okay, okay. And you're a protagonist too, Raheem?
yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the strengths of the protagonist. That's probably why you guys are working well together. So the strengths of the protagonist: receptive. Protagonists have strong opinions, but they're far from closed-minded. They recognize the importance of allowing
Yeah.
others to express themselves fully. Even when protagonists don't agree with someone, they recognize that person's right to voice their truth. They're reliable.
Yeah,
Few things bother protagonists more than the prospect of letting down a person or cause that they believe in. So people with this personality type can be counted on to see their promises and responsibilities through, even when it's difficult to do so. Does that sound true?
Yes.
Oh,
very true.
amazing. They're passionate. Passionate. Protagonists are far from being boring do-gooders. These types brim with interests, and they take great pleasure in pursuing their hobbies, whether that's hiking, cooking, dancing, growing houseplants, or something else entirely. And as a result, they rarely find themselves at a loss for something interesting to do.
Yes.
And then it says you're altruistic.
Yeah.
These personalities are known for harboring a deep desire to be a force for positive change. Protagonists genuinely believe that if they bring people together, they can do a world of good. This makes so much sense.
That's right. That's right. it is.
Yeah,
That's right. I find it interesting how they can come up with these. If you select different something,
personality traits.
it gave you the personality trait. It can be so amazing because it coming from you naturally, right? You're selecting stuff that is natural of you.
Yes.
So you don't have control as to what will be the
Exactly.
ultimate outcome. So, but at the end, if you see
No.
amusing, like, oh my God, this is amusing. I did it in school. In public
Right?
service, yeah, in public service we did this. It was very interesting.
It is.
And when I was doing it again, it just showed me everything. I said, wow, this is amazing. You know, there are some things you can do in school. You just want to get a grade and pass, right?
Mhm.
But then we are
Yeah.
doing it now in a children's setting. You can really actualize the importance of it.
It is very important to know your personality type and the personality types of those that you're working with.
I really
Because
encourage everybody, man. If you don't do it before, just go back to it and do it. It's very important.
very, very important. And it's part of leadership, right? And it realized that this is very true to you. And the work that you're doing is actually what you're naturally supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And that's why it works. And it says also that you're charismatic, determined, and inspiring. Protagonists often find their way into leadership roles. Hello, here we are. Whether they're captain of their softball team or a leader on the world stage, they rarely lose sight of their main goal: to be of service to others. And that's why LIBCAM is so important, I'm sure, to you, Bernard and Raheem, for us to make sure that we see this through, primarily because your goal is to be of service to others and to be the best organization out there. And that's why we're here today. And that's why we're committed to doing this training. And it's phenomenal. Okay, so it said it had some weaknesses. Did you go through the weaknesses too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, everything. I did everything.
Okay, so it's one of the weaknesses: unrealistic. So many protagonists put pressure on themselves to right every wrong they encounter. But no matter how hard these personalities strive, it just isn't realistic for them to solve all of the world's problems. If they aren't careful, they can spread themselves too thin, Raheem, and be left unable to help anyone, which is when I call you and you're feeling under the weather. I'm sure you're stretching yourself thin.
That's right. I just come for the meeting right now. I'm going to do some strategic planning training for other clients all the way in Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to go this morning from 10 to 11 to 11:30.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I drove back again to Kitchen to participate in this one.
That's almost 1.5 hours there.
Yeah.
So you're you're spreading yourself too thin. And these are things you have to be cognizant of. Otherwise, if you're ill, you can't help everybody that you want to help. So you also have to take care of yourself. Right? It says, and then also says, overly idealistic. Protagonists tend to have clear ideas about what's right and what's wrong. They often think that everyone everyone shares these fundamental principles, or at least everyone should share these principles. So it can come as a genuine shock to protagonists when people violate their core values, such as truth or justice. Everybody's not the same.
That's right.
Condescending. People with this personality type enjoy teaching others, particularly about the causes and beliefs that matter so much to them. But at times, protagonists' attempts to enlighten others may come across as patronizing, not the most effective strategy for persuading other people. So we got to watch that. Intense. It says you guys could be intense. So when it comes to
That's true. Sometimes being confrontational, sometimes you have to get idea across. Then me and the secretary sometimes will give me intense with each other. I wonder what is his result.
I don't even know what I even did it. I hear from him. So
I was looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to his result and see whether we'll get certain personality traits.
You guys are exactly the same, and this is probably why it gets intense. Now you understand, right? You're exactly the same.
I was actually laughing when I was getting my results. Wow, this is amazing.
yeah, it gets real, you know.
Yeah.
You guys are, and then overly empathetic. So compassion, you're very compassionate with this personality type, and you take on other people's problems as your own, and that could leave you emotionally and physically exhausted. So you want to be careful when you're taking things on. But that was really good. That was really, really good. Okay, so now let's hear Regina. Tell us what your personality type was.
Yeah, I did it. I did it last night, but I can't remember honestly.
No,
I didn't really pay it. Yeah, I did the whole thing. I answered it, and then I went back because I thought I was going to get back to see the whole thing. They gave me the result.
yeah,
I can't find it, so I don't have it off head. I will do
okay,
it
that's
again.
fine. Yeah, do it
Yeah.
again
Please
and
go back
just
and do it again. The
and
exercise
share
is very interesting.
I'll do it again. Yeah, I saw all of that. Sorry, but I thought it was gonna still be open on my page, but then I can't find it right now.
That's
no
okay.
problem. Just make sure you go back and do it again and share it with Bernard, share it with your team so everybody can know, you
Yeah,
know, your
yeah.
personality type. And it looked like Vivian left.
Yeah, because we got ourselves so tied up.
Yeah.
We have church stuff that we're doing. We're supposed to be at the church at 2:00, and then so we just in between. That's why I think that's what she's going to.
No problem. So make sure you guys do that and share it with each other. But it's a great exercise, especially as you're in leadership.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, people that work for you that are coming on board, it's good to make them do it too. So you know what kind of personality type you're working with and how to assign work to them and what to expect from them. So you're not disappointed and you can, you know, manage expectations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Satel,
Yes.
for the benefit of this training, can you please share light on introvert if you have icon of that, please?
If I have, sorry, say that again.
If you have information on introvert, do you have something available for them? Like a result, like an account?
Well, everybody has, like, it'll give you your actual personality type. So let me see. Yeah. So we have.
We don't want to talk about it until they do it, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure that we talk about them specifically because there are different types of introverts, right? So it'll give you the specific one to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So we could do it again on our next training. Just make everybody would have done it by then, and we can just review it quickly.
When I do, I will keep it in mind.
Yeah, just screen snap your result.
Yeah. Take a picture of it so you don't forget it next time, and then share it so we can put it in the training next time. So just to finish off, because we're almost at the end here, there's a book that I like to read called Principles by Ray Dalio, and that talks about how to manage and run an organization and to manage as someone operating a machine. So when you're working and you're managing your organization, you want to look down on your machine and yourself within it from a higher level. This means looking at things from top down. You want to consistently compare your outcomes to your goals. You must always be simultaneously trying to accomplish the goal and evaluating the machine. And by the machine, it means the people that you've hired and the design of the systems that you put in place. And you want to look at it as all outcomes are reflections of how the machine is running. So whenever you identify a problem with your machine or something that's not working right, you need to diagnose whether it's the result of a flaw in the design, which means, is it a result of some system that we put in place, or is it the way your people are handling their responsibilities? And that's why it's good to understand your personality type to ensure that the responsibilities that they have are actually within their actual strengths. You want to understand that a great manager is essentially an organization engineer. So great managers are engineers, and they see the organization as machines and work assiduously to maintain and improve them. You want to build great metrics, right? Because metrics show how the machine is working by providing numbers and setting off alerts in a dashboard. So let's say we want to increase our membership by X amount. We're now going to put a strategy in place on how we're going to do that. If we find we're not reaching that number by the first quarter, second quarter, that means there's something either in what we're doing as the system or who's in charge of that that's not working, and we could make adjustments before we reach the end of the fiscal year. So it's looking at things like metrics. And metrics are an objective means of assessment, and they tend to have a favorable impact on the productivity. So when you're constructing your metrics, imagine the most important questions you need to be answered in order to know how things are going, and to imagine what numbers will give you the answers to them.
Copybook is over there.
Oh, Regina, you want to mute?
Sorry.
Can you mute, please?
Sorry,
Thanks.
my grandkids, sorry.
You want to be aware of paying too much attention to what is coming at you and not enough attention to your machine, because sometimes we just look at what's happening right now and take on what's urgent, but we're not looking at how it's impacting everything, and we lose sight of the whole thing, because things are always coming at you. There's always going to be important things, but you want to make sure you have people in place to handle that, so you can always look at the overarching outcome of your business. And if you keep your focus on each individual task, you'll inevitably get bogged down, exhausted. So if instead you pay attention to building and managing your machines, then you'll be rewarded many times over. And then don't get distracted by shiny objects, meaning the new things that are happening in the organization. You just focus on that, but forget everything else that you put in place and what you're doing there. And you want to also
elaborate on that again. Just for example, if we get 50,000 for women program,
yes,
we should not just focus all resources on that. We
exactly.
We should continue to delegate the same resources we have delegated to other departments, not just the funding we get right now, right?
Exactly. So just because, like Raheem said, if you get funding for women's programs, doesn't mean you forget about the youth and the seniors and everything else that you're doing because you got this funding. You understand you got the funding for this, and that's great, but you want to make sure all programs are always running seamlessly, no matter what.
Okay. I know before you go for our next training, so we'll talk about organizational chart, right?
Sorry, the next training is?
Maybe we'll talk about organizational chart, right?
We're definitely talking about the organizational chart in the next training.
Okay. Very good. Very good. I just want to put a message across because I want to take advantage of this time to communicate with Mr. Cummings so that he can actually talk to his colleagues, so
Yes.
that they can come in our meeting, so we can begin to identify individual programs and services. That way,
Yes.
we are doing the training at the same time we are providing the individuals to each department. So what we're going to do before the next meeting, we are going to provide each program and detailed information on each program. So by the time we come, you will express their interest in each program. That way,
I will.
we don't have to go back again. We got to make a selection. We'll give you a document, read it, which area it is based on your character traits analysis.
Yeah.
Like what we started talking about, based on that, you will say, okay, I think I will be the best fit for senior. I think I will be the best fit for youth. And then we'll come and discuss that, and then we'll begin to assign people to those places.
And then we're also going to not just look at the organizational chart and what we're assigning, but what they're going to be doing, what their responsibilities are going to be under each department.
Exactly. So if you're coming out there, 10 pen and paper.
Please do. Okay. And
Okay.
finally, we want to know that great leadership is generally not what it's made out to be. The most effective leaders work to, 1, open-mindedly seek out the best answers, and 2, bring others along as part of that discovery process. So that's why we're working together to come up with the best ideas and to be open-minded on the strategies that we're putting in place. And to diagnose well, ask the following questions. Is the outcome good or bad? Who is responsible for the outcome? And if the outcome is bad, is the responsible party or the responsible person incapable, and or is the design bad? So it's always assessing the people that you have in the right position and also the systems that you put in place. And that's really key to really managing this organization most effectively and efficiently. So I want to thank you for spending this nice 2 hours this Saturday afternoon with me for this training. I look forward to our next workshop. So we're saying that the probable dates would be either April 16th or April 30th. Go back with your team, and if you can just get me the date ASAP, therefore I could start putting things together and we could lock that date in. So we're not getting down to the last minute and be like, it's April, it's the last weekend, we need this done. So April 16th or April 30th.
No, April 30th will
Okay.
not be good because we have other activity coming up that will start around April. So April
Okay.
16th April 16th should be good.
Okay,
Because
so we're gonna,
we'll be starting another senior program with most around the first. So 30th, it will be busy during the 30th. So,
Okay.
yeah.
so then we're April 16th because that's when I think the vice chair or something like that, the vice president is going to be available because she's only available every other Saturday.
Yeah.
So we went through and I did the math and I figured it was the
Okay.
16th or the 30th. So then April
Yeah.
16th is going to be the date. I'm going to put it in the calendar. You guys let me know what time works best for you, because right now it's open for me and it's Easter weekend. So just know that, right?
Yeah.
But usually on the Saturday, nobody's doing anything. So
Exactly.
that's the date we're going to book, and just let me know or let Raheem know what time works, and Raheem will let me know and I'll send out the calendar invite.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Mr. Cummings, I'll call you this evening.